we have studied about the galvanic cell. Galvanic cell is a type of electrochemical cell, okay, in which the electrical energy is produced due to the chemical reaction taking place inside the cell. Today, the next topic we are going to study is reversible and irreversible cell. See, in order to study the thermodynamic relationship between the energy of a chemical reaction taking place in a galvanic cell and the electrical energy produced, okay, so we should know the relationship between the energy of a reaction, that is a cell, and the electrical energy produced due to the chemical reaction. To find out this, to study this, a cell should work in a thermodynamically reversible manner. Okay, it should be thermodynamically reversible. A cell is said to be working in a thermodynamically reversible sense. It is sending out an infinitesimally small current, so that the cell reaction always virtually in a sense of equilibrium. Now, in order to find out whether a cell is working reversible or not, it is to be connected to an external source of EMF acting in the opposite direction. Okay, the cell will be reversible. First, we are connecting an equal or external EMF is connected to this, which is acting in the opposite direction, and we are finding out whether the cell is reversible or not. See, the cell will be reversible. The cell is reversible if it satisfies the following conditions. What is that? Listen. If the opposing EMF is equal to the cell of EMF, that is the cell of EMF, then no cell reaction will occur and no EMF will be produced by the cell. That is, if the externally added or the externally connected EMF, if the opposing EMF is equal to the cell of the cell, the EMF produced by the cell, then what happens? No chemical reaction will occur and no EMF will be produced. No EMF and no cell reaction. Okay. Second condition. If the external EMF, if the opposing EMF is infinitesimally greater than the EMF of a cell. Okay, is greater than the EMF of the cell, what happens? Small amount of current flows inside the cell and correspondingly the cell reaction will take place in the opposite direction. Okay, the cell reaction, the EMF is what happens? the cell reaction will occur in the opposite direction. Okay? Or if the opposing EMF is infinitesimally smaller than the EMF of a cell, then what happens? A small amount of current will be produced by the cell and correspondingly small amount of the reaction will occur. If any cell satisfies these three conditions, then the cell is said to be working in a thermodynamically reversible manner. First, number one, usually to find out whether the cell is working reversibly or not, we are connecting an external EMF acting in the opposite direction and observing 3 points. If the external EMF applied is exactly equal to the cell of the EMF of a cell, then what happens? No EMF will be produced by the cell and no chemical reaction occurs. Okay? If the external EMF is greater than the EMF of a cell, then what happens? The external EMF will flow into the cell and what happens? The cell reaction takes place in a reverse manner. Okay? How it is reverse manner? Just now we have studied in the last class. Zinc undergoes oxidation and copper undergoes reduction. Okay? If the opposing EMF is greater, means the cell reaction will take place in the reverse manner. The equilibrium will shift towards left. If the opposing EMF or the external EMF applied is smaller than the EMF of the cell, then what happens? Very little amount of EMF will be produced by the cell and correspondingly small amount of the cell reaction will occur in the right hand side, that is this equilibrium will be shifted towards right hand side. If any cell satisfies these three conditions, then it is said to be working in a reversible manner. Okay. Similarly, in the case of electrodes also, usually the electrodes which involved in a reversible cell is called reversible electrodes, and the electrodes which is involved in the irreversible cell, then it is called irreversible electrodes. Okay, so this is about reversible and irreversible cells. Next we are going to study. The next topic is standard cell. What is standard cell? Remember, the standard cell is capable of giving constant current and it has reproducible EMF value, and its EMF value should not vary with temperature, or its variation with temperature will be negligibly small. The best example for the standard cell is a Western standard cell. Okay? A Western standard cell is nothing but it contains two limbs. This is a standard cell. Okay. The left limb is filled with mercury. It is covered with a paste of mercurous sulfate. It is covered with a paste of mercurous sulfate. Okay, and this is serves as positive electrode. Okay, or it is called cathode. Okay, then the left hand side, the left limb, it consists of a mixture of cadmium amalgam. This is cadmium amalgam. Okay, cadmium amalgam, which serves as anode, that is, okay, which serves as cathode, and this is serves as anode, and this whole, this mercury covered with mercurous sulfate and cadmium amalgam is covered with mercurous, what is called as cadmium sulfate crystals. It is covered with cadmium sulfate point H2O crystals. Okay, crystals, and it is covered with a saturated solution of cadmium sulfate. This is saturated solution of cadmium sulfate. Okay, so this is called Western cell. This is Western cell. Okay, the left hand side limb, which act as anode, which is covered with mercury. Okay, and mercury is covered with a paste of mercurous sulfate. Okay, then the right hand side limb, which consists of cadmium amalgam covered with that is cadmium sulfate crystals, and which is filled with covered with a saturated solution of cadmium sulfate. This is a standard cell which gives a reproducible value of EMF. It produces it produces EMF of about 1.108 into 300 volt. Constant EMF it will produce. Okay, this type of cell is called standard cell. Standard cell is a source of unvarying potential, and it should also reproducible. Okay, and see, so here this is about the diagram of Western standard cell. Okay, the right hand side limb act as negative electrode, the left hand side limb is act as positive electrode. Okay, this is called a Western standard cell. Next we are going to study how to measure the EMF of the cell. What is actually EMF? EMF is nothing but electromotive force. See, usually the electricity cannot flow when the two electrodes are having the same potential. If the two electrodes are having some difference in potential, then only electricity flows from electrode of higher potential to electrode of lower potential. So, the force which causes the movement of electrons from electrode of higher potential to electrode of lower potential is called electromotive force. That is, the difference in potential which causes a movement of electrons from the electrode of higher potential to electrode of lower potential is called electromotive force, that is EMF. how to measure the EMF of a cell? See, the EMF of a cell can be measured by using the voltmeter. Usually it gives the reading of potential difference. But the measurement of EMF by using an ordinary voltmeter will lead to error. Okay? The value obtained is not so accurate. So therefore, to find out the EMF, to measure the EMF, we are using a device called potentiometer. Okay? What is potentiometer? This is potentiometer in which we have externally a battery is connected to the wire structured at two terminals which has very high internal resistance. Listen, the potentiometer is nothing but it is a device in which a wire is structured between the two, a thin wire is structured between the two terminals A and B which has high internal resistance. This is connected by an external source of EMF which is somewhat greater than the EMF of these cells. Okay? The cell whose EMF is to be determined, that is X, its positive terminal is connected to the terminal A and negative terminal to the moving sliding contact. This is the sliding contact over the wire, okay, through a galvanometer. Now what happens? This potentiometer working under Poggendorff's compensation principle, that is called Poggendorff's compensation principle. That means we have to find out the point where, at the point where there is no flow of current. That is, the EMF of the cell and the EMF of the external source is compensated at some point. Therefore, this galvanometer shows zero deflection or null deflection. Now let us consider, if we want to find out the EMF of the cell, X, whose EMF is not known, when it is connected to this and we move the sliding contact over the wire until the galvanometer shows null deflection or 0 point. So now let us consider this J is the point where it shows null deflection. Now let us consider, first we are connecting, not this, first we are connecting the EMF of the cell whose EMF is not known, that is Ex. If I move the sliding contact, okay, the point J gives null deflection. That means the EMF produced by the cell is proportional to the distance AJ. That means now at this point the EMF of this cell and the external source is compensated. Okay. Now what happens? I am repeating the measurement by removing this X. Okay. By removing this X cell and connecting the cell S, which is called standard cell whose EMF is already known. Okay. That is the EMF of a standard cell. Now I am connecting here the standard cell, removing this X cell because whose EMF is already measured. Now this standard cell is connected. Now I am moving the sliding contact over the wire AB. Now I found that the point of null deflection is found to be J dash. That means the EMF produced by the standard cell is proportional to AJ dash. Okay. So I have measured the two distances. The two distances AJ and AJ dash can be measured by a meter scale which is fixed below the wire. From this we can easily measure the distances AJ and AJ dash. The EMF of an unknown cell whose EMF is not known, that is EX. This is the EMF of the cell, standard cell whose EMF is already known. We know these three values, we can easily calculate the EMF of the unknown cell as, that is, EMF of the unknown cell can be calculated as, it will be AJ divided by AJ dash into ES. Okay, we can easily find out the EMF of a cell using this potentiometer. This device is called potentiometer. AJ and AJ dash are the distances we can easily measure by means of a meter scale, and EMF of a standard cell is known. We can easily find out the EMF of a given unknown cell. So this is the basic principle of potentiometer working under compensation principle or no current flow principle. Okay, so this by this method we can measure the EMF of any given unknown cell. So dear students, today we have studied three topics, that is reversible and irreversible cells. What are the conditions for a reversible cell we have studied, and we have also studied Western standard cell which gives unvarying potential, that also we have studied. And the last third topic we have studied is a very important 5-mark question, that how the EMF of a cell is measured. Okay, this is the explanation for this measurement of EMF. Okay, the next topic we will study in the next